Hi, True Direction. Hope you've had another good week. Bit rainy, not great weather. The sunshine seems to have disappeared a little bit, but next week looks a little bit brighter. Now, next week, maybe some of you are going to be going back to school. And if you are, I really hope that goes well. I know some schools go back on Wednesday, Thursday or Friday, and some schools actually don't go back until the following week. But if you are back at school, have a really good time. I know it's going to be difficult, or not difficult, different, sorry, I should say. It's going to be different. But I'm sure your teachers will go through everything with you, and it will, make the going back to school process as easy as possible. Hopefully, you're going to find it exciting. Maybe a little bit apprehensive, but overall, try and think of it as a really exciting experience. It's a new way of doing things. Another new way of doing stuff is the new way of doing church, which will happen next Sunday, when people are actually now allowed to go into church. Now, it's going to be, again, a bit different, but not necessarily difficult, just different. I'm going to talk a bit more about that in a moment, but first of all, I'm going to read you today's Bible verse, which actually links in quite nicely to the hope of what's to come. Okay, so this Bible verse comes from the book of John, chapter 16, verse 12. I'm going to read a part of it. I have much more to say to you, more than you can now bear. When he, the Spirit of truth, comes, he'll guide you in the truth. He will not speak on his own. He will speak only what he hears, and he will tell you what is yet to come. That's just a little bit of the Bible verse, and this is the Bible verse that the adults are looking at in the full service. So John is telling the tale of when Jesus knew that he had to leave Earth. He had said and done a huge amount of stuff already, but he was telling his disciples, his friends, the people, that there was more to come. And he was saying that the Holy Spirit would come to them. So if you remember, the Holy Spirit actually came to the disciples after the crucifixion, after Jesus died. So Jesus was telling his disciples, his friends, that the Holy Spirit would be coming, and that he would be telling them of things, but he would be telling them not because the Holy Spirit knew about them, but because the Holy Spirit was saying what Jesus was telling him to say. Sometimes it does get a bit confusing, doesn't it, these Bible passages? But this is exciting. Jesus is giving his friends hope and excitement that there is even more to come. So if they thought that what Jesus had done and what Jesus had said was good, then there's yet more. And, well, it's like counting down to your birthday or to Christmas, isn't it? Maybe the disciples were excited and were even counting down to the day when this Holy Spirit would arrive. They didn't know when that was going to happen, and they probably didn't quite understand it, but there was excitement and hope, and that's what Jesus was giving them. Okay, so the excitement of what's to come. Say, whoops, Daisy, I've lost you. Oh, there we go. Okay, the excitement of what's to come. Might be going back to school. You might not think that's the most exciting thing in the world. You might do, but you might not. But it's something to look forward to, isn't it? It's something that's going to be seeing your friends and getting back into a routine. And it's quite exciting. Quite interesting to see what it's all about. And as I said, next week is also the return to church. Now, there's a few things that are going to be very different to what we're used to at church. They're only going to allow a maximum of 30 people into the church. So if you and your families are going, you're probably going to have to get there in good time and make sure you've got a seat. So you're going to be shown to your seats. You're going to have to use the hand sanitizer, which you're probably quite used to doing. and you're grown up, so if you are under or over 11, then you're going to have to wear a mask unless there's a reason that you can't wear a mask. Once you're in your seat, you need to stay in your seat. Okay, so unfortunately there's no running around. You can't sort of share toys with our friends like sometimes we used to. Just got to stay with our family groups. If you want to bring your own toy, just something to play with, maybe a quiet one though, would be good. Bring that along. Or if you want to bring maybe a little bit of colouring that you can just do quietly. But hopefully you also might want to listen to the service and enjoy that. But if you do get a little bit bored, then just bring something with you. And there's not going to be any singing. This is going to be really strange. We're going to hum the songs. But again, it's going to be different and it's going to be exciting. Okay, so humming the hymns and the songs. Colin or whoever is going to be preaching or giving notices, they'll stand at the front. They don't need to wear a face mask, but they won't be moving around a lot, and we won't be getting up and sharing the peace and things like that in the way that we normally do. As the weeks go on, we're going to find new ways of doing it, and this should be seen as something quite exciting and like a new adventure. How are we going to do what we used to do but in a different way? And unfortunately, True Direction is not going to happen for a while, so you won't see me or Tom and Lolly and Matt and Caroline and all our helpers. But never fear, we have got something planned for you. So what we're going to show you a little sneak preview of, again something to look forward to, is some of the things that we're going to do for True Direction that you can then take home with you. If you're not coming to church, your grown-ups, your adults, family member can pick these up for you, and then they can you can do the activities at home. I'll show you that in just a moment. Okay, so True Direction is going to take a new form for a little while. And if you can see that all right, going to have True Direction in a bag. Okay, so what we're hoping to do is give you something that you can take away with you and can do the activities at home with your family. So it's going to look something like this. Everything's going to be in a bag so we can make sure it's nice and clean for when you take it away with you. It's going to give you some information on what's going to be in it. So I know you probably can't see this in great detail, so I'll just tell you. So there's going to be a Bible verse which we're going to base our activities on. Then there's going to be a craft activity. There's going to be a food activity, and there's going to be a game suggestion, and there's going to be a prayer activity. Now sometimes they might be rolled into one thing, or they might be 4 separate things to do. What we're going to do to try and make it a little bit exciting for you is we're going to put possibly a craft like this in the bag. Maybe if it's a prayer activity, there might be something in there to help you carry out the prayer. There might be a little bit of food. There might even be some sweets in there sometimes. And there'll be just little things that will help you start those different activities. And then you'll probably have the rest of your materials at home. So things like pens and glue and scissors for the craft. Or if it's a cooking activity, again, you might need some adult help, but you might need some ingredients or some biscuits, something like that, and we might give you something like a bit like icing tube or something that you can start to do the activity with. In fact, I don't know what they're all going to be yet because I haven't thought that far ahead, but they're coming soon. Next week's is ready to go. So hopefully you'll enjoy that, and you'll hopefully again want to share what you've done with us. It'd be great if you could send in some pictures, if you could perhaps send them to Colin and he could share them on our Facebook page or the website if you're happy for us to do so. So that's today's True Direction. Little bit of a snippet of what's to come next week and an introduction to how True Direction is going to look like. Now we're going to continue as well, I must say, with the online True Direction slots. Tom and Lolly and myself are going to take it in turns to do online True Direction. So if you don't get a bag, you can still watch us on YouTube, but maybe you'll get to do both. Okay, have a great week and see you next week. Bye bye.